opportunity to I kind of rotate every 2 or 3 years. I love the opportunity to come and speak to this group. And I'll tell you why. This is not my normal group of people. And I always learn so much when you get outside your comfort zone and you get around people that are not the normal what you're with. I think I learned just as much from you that I hope that you will learn today. And that being said, at the end of this, as long as I have the permission, I'm going to send a survey just to get if you like what you saw today, give me a testimonial. I'm basically, there's a local restaurant right above it. If you give a review at the end, we'll put your name in, we'll draw, and you will get to support a local business right above it, and you will not be disappointed. Has anybody been there? Okay, your mind's going to be blown. I'm just going to tell you that right now. This is your kind of place. It's downtown in Carterville, so you're going to love it. So, real quick, not here to sell anything. I'm here to kind of give you some ideas on how to use social media, get outside your comfort zone, and then give you some updates on what's going on in 2020 and where I see it. Now, this can be very overwhelming, and I'm very high energy. I told you, you're going to get Tommy Boy. But I have to do this every time I get placed after lunch, because you never want to present after lunch. But for some reason, she does this to me every time, so I have to step up my A game. Real quick, just a background. I'm originally from South Dakota. I went into the military, served 4.5 years in the United States Army. I was a satellite communications operator, got out. Came to Southern Illinois, went to school at John A. Logan, transferred at SIU. I was an educator for 10 years, taught 5th grade in Heron, taught kindergarten through 8th grade technology classes at Unity Point, and taught 3 semesters at SIU. Then I went business. I decided to go business. I don't know what I was thinking at times, but I did it anyways. So that's what I've been doing. I do a lot of veterans organizations, and I'm also I think I can still say that, newly elected city councilman here in Carterville, and actually this is in my ward. So another reason why I always try to support our local businesses, especially the ones that I'm actually representing.
I wasn't aware of that, so congratulations.
Hey, thanks. You know me, I have a lot of free time. I love it, but my passion really is small business and veteran-owned businesses. Are there any veterans? Sometimes forget, do we have any veteran business owners? No? Yeah?
Just a veteran, I don't know.
No. Oh, just a veteran. Hey, you did your time too, right? Yeah. So why I like this market is because for the first time, you have an opportunity to be on the same playing field as bigger companies. You can go online and theoretically compete with Fortune 500 companies all around the world. Whether your product needs to be shipped there or not, or it can be, you have that opportunity. We are on a level playing field. People need to remember that and not forget. You have a tool. You have a resource. Now, I'm going to ask a question, and this one's really hard, and I need your participation on this one. How many of you love social media? How many of you hate social media? Okay, and I appreciate your honesty. Me, I have a love-hate relationship with it because I know the value of it, and also because I know the impact that it can have on small businesses, and I'm a testament to that. My business, we've been in business for 6 years. I talked a little bit about that third year. Was that, okay, am I all in my business, or am I done? And I decided I was going to be all in, and I was so glad I did that because things just started rolling after that. It's that chart you see where someone's digging, and there's like 3 people, and one of them is like way far from the gold mine or the diamonds. One's like right next to it, and the other one is just walking away. So we never know on those very strenuous days whether or not you're going to need to go just a little bit further. And as business owners and entrepreneurs, you know that every day we have to keep pushing ourselves. So, the stuff that I want to talk to you about today is to get you to rethink social media and you tell your story. Now, how many of you have had to experience bad reviews on social media? Anybody? Okay, so then you're doing good. If not, okay, what's so bad about bad reviews? Tell me what's wrong with bad reviews. No?
It's hard to get them down.
You're not allowed to talk, so you're cut off. Hard to get down? What else?
Self-defeating to make you feel bad.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than shooting an entrepreneur, blood, sweat, and tears every day, and you get that one review. That's a good one.
It may not be an accurate picture of the business. Right?
Not an accurate picture. What else? Let me ask you something. Do you ever have a bad day at your job? Have people caught you at that one moment not being 100% on your game? Should your business suffer for that? No. I always tell people customer service, especially on social media, is a mirror into your business. It's social media and reviews are what you show people your customer service really is, right? You want everything to be perfect and 5-star. The fact is that's unrealistic. It is. So when you have those moments on there, take an opportunity to show what your customer service is. How are you going to handle those moments? And use those moments as a learning opportunity for you, your staff, your team, and to show other people what it means like to do business when things don't go right. Because I'm going to tell you something that I wish someone would have told me. It is okay, I'm telling you, I'll give you permission. It is okay to make mistakes and have people post it. It's not the end of the world. Thank God we live in a world where people have short attention spans, because you show something dangling cute over here, a rainbow and a kitty, and they're on to the next thing. So don't get caught up in that. All right, so when we jump in, are you stuck in social media from yesterday, right? Some of these icons look very familiar, some of them not so much, but just to kind of give you a review, you had Google, which had Google Plus pages, which is no longer there. The only thing you have now are Google business pages, which I hope all of you, we're not going to talk about today, but hopefully all of you have set up and claimed your Google business page. The dreaded Facebook that we all love and hate. Our buddy here, I got to call you Santa Claus every time now. YouTube, he likes YouTube. We have Twitter. We have Instagram. Then the Google Plus I put in there twice. Pinterest for you ladies, and some guys might be there. I'm not a Pinterest person, my team is. Tumblr, Snapchat, and LinkedIn. Each one of these, over the last 3 years, especially since the last time I came, have drastically changed. Now, this looks overwhelming, and I want you to know you don't need to be on all of these platforms. For Southern Illinois, what I would tell you as a business owner, there's probably, other than claiming your Google business page, what you need to be on is Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that you need to focus on. However, I would claim your other places on some of these other platforms like Twitter, YouTube, maybe Snapchat, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Why do I say that? Because there has been instances where we've had to work with clients where people have cloned or they took their business name and started promoting under that on the other pages. So you don't have to be on them and actively working, but claim your pages on some of the main ones. That goes for in the future as well. So are there any on here that anybody particularly loves and that they're doing already with their business? Other than Facebook? How many of you are on Instagram? Okay, got some. Twitter.
I have Twitter, but
Yeah, Twitter's just not a good regional. If you market to St. Louis or bigger metropolitan areas, I would say use Twitter. But it is a lot of content that you're going to have to put out. YouTube, all video, and then we're going to talk about a new platform in a little bit that'll scare some of you probably. But YouTube is a good platform. The problem is that it's just great for housing. There's so much competition. Unless you know what you're looking for or you rank high, you don't put a lot of time and effort into it because unfortunately you're not going to be searchable unless you're you're very targeted and strategic with it. YouTube takes a lot of time for small businesses, a lot, with very little return locally, unless you just blow up. It's really hard. So you're probably searching for things content specific or a specific name, aren't you, when you look at some of your YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the other thing, or they recommend stuff. Do you watch a lot of the recommended stuff?
No, Not really.
So you go for specific things, okay? So when you look at when you look at these, I just want you to be aware, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. But if you don't take social media seriously as a business platform for you, what it is someone else is going to take your story and tell it for you. So I know that we don't necessarily want to do it. We're kind of feeling like we're forced. But this was a lot like when people transitioned from yellow pages to websites. I remember this scenario when I was growing up. Why do we need a website? Why do we need a website? Guess what? Today, people want websites and they have to have one, but they don't know really how to use it. So they're spending money on websites they either don't need or it's a waste of money. So be careful. Be very careful. Along with that, when you're looking at these platforms and you're telling your story, own your story, and goes back to earlier about being authentic. If you're scared, that is okay. Most business owners are. And it's okay to make mistakes, because I will tell you, each one of you loves your business. You're very passionate. You will not do anything intentionally to harm it or unintentionally. You will say things, you will do things, you will recover. But if you do not tell your story online, someone else will, through reviews, through other people. You have to. This is the new water cooler is this. This is where everybody's going, asking for recommendations. This is where everybody's going. So please, if I get you to do anything, I want you to think about at least using social media strategically. You don't have to like it, but again, in our businesses, we don't like everything we do every day. We have our certain things that we do. So I hope I can convince you to at least get on one or use one and tell your story. All right. Now, for some of you, this is going to be very overwhelming, and for some of you, you might know a little bit about this, but I want to talk to you about where Facebook is in 2020. It's more than just posting videos and content and all that. There's a lot of new features that I want to go over that, if done correctly and done consistently, can change your business overnight. And I do mean that. How many of you are familiar with Facebook Messenger and auto replies? Do you have those? How many of you have set those up?
Not
1, 2,
reply.
3. Okay. These are features that I like to consider a salesperson. How many of you would like to have a free 24/7 salesperson? Anybody? No? Nobody wants a salesperson? Wow! No wonder you're not selling a lot. Nobody wants a salesperson. Okay. So Facebook Messenger for the business pages has built-in auto replies, but you can also built in frequent services and things. So when people want to come, that instant gratification that a lot of younger generations want, when they go there, they want to learn about your product. You can say, let's just use, what do you sell? Produce. Give me a specific produce.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Perfect. You know, if someone comes to your Facebook page and they're like, do you carry tomatoes? You can have keywords. Yes. You can go to our web. It's an auto reply. Yes. You can go here and you can just drive them to the website, or you can set things up to auto reply to specific things. Now, to be strategic is, what are people coming to your Facebook page and asking this consistent questions for? Those are the ones you want to automate, right? How about this? What about you want to sell more of more products that maybe you have too much of, or it's seasonal? You put that on there, and when it pops up, when they go to your Facebook page, hey, do you like spaghetti? Might be this month. Maybe everybody's going to go out for Italian or something. Hey, do you like spaghetti? Have you tried our tomatoes? That pops up, yes or no, and then it kind of takes them through, and it's a workflow. It's a workflow, but it's automated. Now, the time to set up can be a little daunting, but you can start small and build it out. Then what happens is you just leave it, you just let it go, and you allow them to go to the page, and then they can automatically interact. Since this is, and I mean, I'm going to say experienced, not older. Since this is an experienced audience, how many remember Microsoft Word and little Clippy down in the corner? Remember little Clippy? I know, I did too, right? Everybody hated Clippy, but Clippy was the one you would ask questions to and it would help you. So we have this avatar-like thing, this feature that you can now do with Messenger. And it automatically, if you set it up for high traffic questions or your services, that can be a 24/7 salesperson for you. Now, yes, it does take a little bit of expertise. There's tutorials on YouTube. There are third-party applications. There are other resources that you can go through to get that. But if you do anything when you have a Facebook page, set up this Facebook Messenger, at least for, hey, if you're interested in our services, go to our website or call me or interact. People want that instant gratification, and let's be honest, many of you don't have time to be monitoring your Facebook account 24/7. Some of you might do that, unfortunately, but you just don't. So set this up. It's a great tool, and it's a great way for you to hopefully increase revenue over a period of time. And if anybody has questions, just jump in. I'm pretty hard charging. All right, Facebook Stories. Facebook Stories is a new way to basically put your content out. Right now, what do? We go on Facebook, we post a picture, a video, and we put it on what's called our timeline. We put it on our timeline. Well, Facebook realized over a period of time that engagement on timelines was not going so well. So they decided to steal the idea from their company they acquired, which was Instagram, and you could do stories, which is kind of like little, basically at the top, you kind of click on its little circle, and you can go in and put content. It's pretty much the same thing. It's much better when you use video, but it's like watching a TV channel, and all it is it's a new platform to post content that a new generation and more people go there. So it's like autopilot. Then you just put on here, whoever puts in their stories, and then it cycles through. So I can see your story. Then I go straight to your story, then your story. And it's all it is just pretty much kind of the same content, but a different mode, and more people are on that. More people to the tune of almost 300% more. What that means is, if you post the exact same thing at the exact same time on your timeline and your story, you're probably going to get up to 300% more increase in reach and views on a story. Doesn't mean that you need to totally forget about Facebook and your timeline. It just means you've got another platform that you need to be on. I know, I'm sorry, it's more. But you need to be on in order to get in front of those people. Yes?
Does it go away, or does Facebook keep a record of it?
So it goes away. It's in 24 hours. There is a secret, though. If you want to create, you can create these little folders. You can put them in there, and it saves it. And after this class, or if we have a break in between, I'll be happy to go over that and kind of show you what that looks like. And if some of you have that, help your neighbors out. I'm a big fan of, we can all learn from each other. So if you have that, kind of show that. But Facebook Stories, you definitely need to be posting content. Video doesn't necessarily always have to be video, but images. There's a lot of creativeness that you can go on and do in there. Okay, you're going to hear me talk a lot about today, about video. All right, how many of you are absolutely petrified of video? Nobody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, real quick. I want to tell you a story that I did. You might not believe this from my personality, I do not like video. I don't. I probably have the same fears as a lot of you. What if I look stupid? Which I already took care of that. I just automatically look stupid, and then I take that out. It's good. So I don't have to worry about that. Am I going to be able to say the right things? Am I going to represent my business in the right way? So all I decided to do after going to all the conferences and everybody bugging me about, Tom, you need to do your own video, I started doing video. And what I did was I started doing a Harness Your Hump Day. I can't take all credit for it. I used my last name and Wednesdays. I do Harness Your Hump Day. It's for digital marketing. I come up with tips and stuff. It's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock a.m. Not the most optimal time. It's much better in the evenings, but it was all I could do based on my schedule and what I could do and what I could commit to, because it's about consistency. I knew that I could dedicate every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So it's in my calendar and I'm committed. So every Wednesday I do that, and I don't get a lot of engagement right away till later. And I learned this really cool distribution channel, because you want to get your content in front of people to see it, right? Nobody wants to just put something up that one person really sees. So here's my freebie for you, those of you that want to get into Facebook Live or video. So I take this video, I export it as a movie file. I upload it to YouTube. I also save it as an audio file. I upload that audio file to a podcast channel that goes out to 10 networks online. And then I also take that YouTube link and I use that in an email link and I send that out to my email list. I do all this, I got it down into 1 hour. So I dedicate every Wednesday 1 hour. My team knows to leave me alone, and I get out to roughly, and I did the number, but I can't. But I get the podcasters, I get my email list, and I still have my Facebook Live. And if I like the content and it worked really well, I'll actually boost that particular show into the markets that I want to get into. And I don't spend a lot, but I do that very consistently, and it works really well. Now, that's a lot to take in right away. However, it does work. I generate a lot more leads, and in my field, it's, I don't have cool products. I sell services, so it's not as cool. So I can only imagine if you guys had a system in place for you that sold products that you could visually see, and taste test and try. I think it would do really well. I've done this for many other businesses. I've done it for branding, just people that want to brand themselves, and it works. But it does not work overnight. It's consistency. It literally took me about, I think I'm on episode 26 in a row. And I think after the first 3 months, I really started to see more consistent leads for our business. It works. And I wouldn't tell you that if it didn't. But it would only work better for you guys because you actually have, like I said, something to sell.
The newspaper people will tell you the same thing. It's consistency.
Yeah, all marketing.
Yeah.
All of it. But I will tell you with digital, it is so much more cost effective. You can take time, and the time is irreplaceable. Like, all of you are worth $1 million. We all know that. So your time is very important, but it is time well spent. And I do not like wasting small entrepreneurs and business owners' time. You guys want to do what you want to do, what you're passionate about. But if you do this works, and it's about being consistent. So these are some of the new features in Facebook. Are there anything that you guys are using, some of these are on, that are working really well that you want to share or you want to discuss? Questions? These are ones that are going to be huge in 2020. If anything, you don't have to use these if you're starting out, but if you want to be successful, these are the 3 things that I would tell you to focus on to get your biggest bang for your buck. All right, Instagram. I used to like Instagram. I replaced it with something, but I'll tell you that later. Instagram is great, and it's great for you guys because, again, you have products. You have visual things that people can see and taste. And this Instagram is really about your senses. And that's what you need to think about when you create content for anything, but specifically this, right? When we say something like, we were talking about pancakes, maple syrup and pancakes, can you already envision that? The smell, the taste, the consistency? And imagine writing some wording that goes along with that really gets people to connect. If you can get people to connect with your senses, at least 3, it's done. You've got to really do the smell, the aroma, the texture, the taste. All those things are so important. How it looks, the presentation. A lot of times, and I put in my notes here, sometimes we're so far in the forest we can't see the trees as business owners. We think we like our content, and we think this is great. But the fact is, the content isn't for us. And we don't have to like it, and we don't have to visually like it. It's not for us. You should be passionate about it, but it's not for us. That's why it's good to ask different people about what you think of the content and what works. So let's see what we got here. Same thing, Instagram stories. There's a little bit of repetition. Instagram stories has a higher reach than Facebook stories. So I talked about 300% increase. Depending on your size, this is about basically the same, but it's a little bit more. It could be up to 500% higher reach. People are going to see your content on your stories more than your timeline. Yes?
Have Instagram stories pretty much replaced what would have been blog posts?
No. So there's this big controversy, I shouldn't say topic discussion, about blogs still have relevance for search engines, for searching. right? And it's called long tail form search engine, like long form tail, where you have a long title that's very specific, so when people search on blogs, that it'll come up. It's just another tool, another resource. When you talk about social media and we're talking about blogs, understand it's not a one and done. This is what's great. Newspaper, and I'm not bad-mouthing any industry, by the way, I'm just trying to give you an analogy that will work. Newspaper, it's distributed daily. But once it's done, how many of you go back and look at the paper again? Maybe a crossword puzzle. How many? Right? Radio. You have to be in a car at a specific time driving down, and you have to hear that. Again, frequency helps, but if you're not on that at that time, it doesn't work. Right? You're not hearing it. With social media or digital marketing, it's working, all of it that's digital is working for you 24/7. 24/7. Again, how I told you earlier you had a free salesperson, you have a free marketing person on this all the time. Blogs work all the time if people are searching and it comes up in the search engine. Your website, always working. Social media, always working. And all those together help boost your organic, or what I call, the best way to say is your free searchability. You're not paying for Google ads, you're not paying for boosted Facebook posts, but this content's out there and it's connected with your business brand and your name. And what that does is that helps you boost up in the ranks. So when we're talking about social media, the images and the video are cool. It's also important to have specific things that you're writing in your content. But it's a good question. Blogs are not dead. They're still very relevant and they're a good strategy. But the problem for small business owners, what do you do? Like, who has time to blog, video, social media, write content, engage? How many of you? I don't, I have a team. Like, anybody? So the point is finding someone or getting advice. Where should you be? What should be your maximum effort? And where do you need to spend that time so that way you're not wasting it on that? Because there's this trade-off. If the social media works and the digital marketing works, you're going to be busier. What does that mean for the time that you're spending on social media? Your marketing goes down. So there's this trade-off. So whatever you do, always have a strategy, ask questions. She is a great resource, amazing. And I've always been, for the classes, I've always been, if someone reaches out to me and they have a short question, I'm okay with that. You know, there's no consulting or anything. If it's a short question, that's great. I'll help you out as much as I can. But yeah, that's what you have to consider when you do that, because you don't have time. And it is frustrating sometimes when we work with small businesses and they've been told they need to do all this. It's unrealistic. It's not conducive. You need to figure out where your audience is and where you need to be. All right, so in stories, there's some really cool things that you can do. You can have video, you can have the images, but you can add GIFs, you can add little catchy things, you can add music, you can add polls. You could do a little poll on something that you're wanting to test. Maybe which tomato looks the ripest, which that's probably not the greatest example, but I'm stuck on tomatoes. Which image looks the best? Now, if you really want an example of who does this amazingly, I have a friend who has a candy store in St. Genevieve, and I connected with her, and it's St. Genevieve Candy Store. I'll have to look for it real quick. It's got a unique name. She uses stories. She uses poll. Every Monday she does polls. She gets engagement, and she also drives people to those products that she is actually highlighting and selling. It is amazing. She's creative, and I think she's brilliant. I will make sure that I get that down, and I'll share that with you, because she could use the followers, and Santa Claus, she just started a YouTube channel, and it's pretty funny. So
Sweet Things, Sweet Shop?
Yes, that's it.
I pulled her up here.
Thank you.
More than just candy.
More than candy. And another story that you will love. She is a small business owner, doesn't have a lot of time either. So guess what? When she got some reviews that were not so positive because she couldn't get to everybody, you know what she did? She labeled it, it's the world's okayest candy store. I thought it was brilliant. She's got an out. She doesn't have to be on her game every day. So if she gets a bad review, she just reminds them that it's the okayest candy store.
That's
that
her
not
little
brilliant?
tagline.
What's that?
That's her tagline.
Yes!
She
I
has
love it.
She has it on a chalkboard in this picture.
It's
Uh-huh.
brilliant. I love her. She is amazing. And she just moved over to doing some YouTube videos too. But she has the best example. If you want to emulate or you want something to go for, that one is the best one on Instagram that I've seen. And hopefully I'll get a discount if you follow and she sees this.
What's the name of it again?
Sweet Things Sweet Shop.
It's in St. Genevieve. And if you're, I drive over there every once in a while. Check it out. It's a really cool store. She's got really cool products. But this is another way to get engagement. And then again, Instagram Live. There are third-party software tools that you can. Oh, you're fine.
Chronic incurable condition.
I'm not bad. I'm incurable. I heard that. I got to work on that then. There are some third-party tools that allow you to do one type of streaming, and it goes out to multiple platforms. I would not encourage you, if you're not really techie, to start out with that. I would just go with the straight live. And for most of you, I think you're going to get the biggest bang if you do and you focus on a Facebook Live. Now, if you're wanting to kind of market to millennials, female, maybe up to 45, I think Instagram Live would be a good one for you as well. And the goal is to stay on for about 15, 20 minutes and be engaging. That's the big thing. You know, you can't just sit there and wait for people to come on and just be like, you have to have a little bit of that awkwardness where you are going to get outside your comfort zone. So to let you know, one of the best things that helped me get over my fear, I used Snapchat. Wasn't a big fan, but Snapchat is like really quick, short videos, and I found out, you know what, I'm okay with doing Snapchat videos because it was just like real short, and I would post that. That helped me practice, get in front of a bunch of people, not really worry about anything, to transition into the Facebook Live. So that helped me. That's a strategy I use because I think our minds play tricks on us. The likelihood that, you know, when you go live, that you're going to be in front of like 1 million people, not realistic. You know, it might be 1, 15, 20, but when you start to see those numbers, sometimes people get a little anxiety and they get a little panicky. No, just be yourself. Go back to what you love about your business and share that. Sometimes early on, another trick I use with video, I would put a picture right by the camera of a person, or I put a motivational saying. A picture of a person is a little bit easier because that way you feel like you're looking at someone. I use my Hollywood crush, Jennifer Garner. So I was always talking to Jennifer Garner right there from one of my favorite TV shows back in the day, Alias. So that's what I picked. That was made me comfortable, and I got, you know, it's like, hey, right? So it could be a kid, it could be a character, it could be anybody. Just kind of, you can use a popsicle stick too to kind of make it pop up, but just put someone there and have that person to talk to. That helps. But you've got to do Facebook Live. If you want your business to grow, especially in the small business market, you've got to do this. I cannot stress this enough. Don't worry about how you look. Evolve, get feedback from it. Have someone say, hey, I did this Facebook Live. What tips do you have? That's it. And be consistent. Find a day every week to do this. You will be amazed. You'll probably fall back in love with your business because you're going to start seeing people see you differently. Because right now, most of you, the business and you are separated. They don't know. There's no connection. You don't have to look crazy. You don't have to have a suit and tie on. Just be you. I know that's hard. Ladies always want makeup. Every time I say this, they're like, no, I'm not getting on at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I have to have makeup. No. Do what if you're comfortable with that and that's what you want, do it. Otherwise, be you. You do not have to be, I joke, but you don't have to be the 26-year-old fit guy with a six-pack. I mean, the only way I'm going to do that is with my craft beer. That's the only way I'm going to get a six-pack. And ladies, the realistic, nobody looks like half the people on Instagram. That's not real. And you think that is, and that's what people want. It isn't. Your audience is going to connect with you based on what you look like and who you are. So just be true to yourself. But live video is huge. All right. So I got this. Hopefully I don't have it plugged. Hopefully they have audio. We have audio. Do you know?
Well, I think I turned it down a minute ago. But
Okay.
let's
Oh, you know what? I can't. it's on my laptop, so I can't pull this up because I don't think it's gonna stream here. So the next, I don't think it's gonna pull from here though, that's the only thing. Let me try this real quick.
I'm not a tech person. You might have figured that out.
Oh, you're fine?
I have a degree in print journalism, okay, let me tell you about it.
Yeah,
All right.
you need to check message.
So, TikTok. All right. How many of you have heard TikTok?
Heard.
Okay. So let me give you the history of TikTok. Tweens, 13ish, used to go and do a lot of dancing. I'm not going to do it for you. Dancing, singing on Musical.ly. It's called Musical.ly. And then a Chinese company, bought it and turned it into TikTok. And probably until over the summer, maybe the last 4 to 6 months, it was dominated by 2 industries. And you're not going to like one of them. One was the tween industry. The other one was child predators. So, yeah, but the predators are on all social media platforms, and that's a whole nother discussion that you can have with your own kids and safety and grandkids. However, the last 6 months, a huge population of not only police, veterans, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus is getting on this video platform. And it's basically, it's all video. It's very creative content. It's people that kind of lip sync to movie quotes and songs and lyrics. It is absolutely a time suck. It is it's like when you first started with social media and you realize, oh my gosh, I've just spent 2 hours on Facebook. This one's worse. That's why I said earlier, I've given up kind of Snapchat and Insta. Like, I spend more time on TikTok than I have on any other platform. Now, TikTok is not for business yet. It is only for personal branding. Now, what that means is, how does a business person use it? You use it to get other people to promote your products or give you reviews and stuff like that. I wanted to show these, and I'm sorry because I guess I couldn't hook my laptop up to this. These are some examples. This right here is on a farm. I came up with, I'll put it on my computer and we can probably, if you guys want to come up and see it in a little bit, we'll show it. But this is just a cute little, there's all these little cows and they're lip syncing. They timed it where they're lip syncing to hello, 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 and there's a little bit of music. It's the cutest thing. But it had, anybody want to know, guess how many views this got? And it's still climbing?
10 million.
Actually, I think it was not quite that high,
Okay.
but I think it was around 100,000 views, and that was fairly recent. This one I chose because this lady it was to a song, and the lady was chasing the chickens, and it was just cute as all get out. And I show these examples because I think this is where we're going in 2020 and 2021. Is this platform is going to surpass Instagram. I'm absolutely predicting that one. This will pass Instagram, and you're going to see much more creative content. This forces you to be creative, and it's a lot of fun. And it's much more, like, the content's there, it makes it a little bit easier.
I'm wondering though, like, production-wise, my daughter shows me these 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And they're almost always like audio clips from one place laid over photos from another.
Sometimes, but the ones that do really well are the videos. And I'll show you some examples. This one, there's an annual tractor day. One of the local community people passed away, and the kids get to drive, this is in Ohio, they get to drive their tractors to school day. And there's this convoy. And this was a little clip that someone, probably a younger kid, did on TikTok. And this was just a very cool aerial photography that was done. And I chose this because I wanted you to see that it's not all about portrait. People do put landscape stuff in there as well. And this was farmers passed away, friends came and helped harvest. So there was a person that passed away, and all the farmers in the community came. And it was really fascinating because I'm going to be honest, I thought when I was going to search for farming or something that I could connect with, I didn't think there would be a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot of people marketing eggs, chickens, hog. The hog ones were really good. But some of them were not. But some of them were not appropriate because there was some swearing, and I as much I'm former military, and I swear I don't usually try to bring that into my presentations because I always try to be respectful of the audience that I'm in. But not to add another social media platform, it's one that I want you to be aware of, and I think it's one that is a valid one. So if you want to market yourself on the farm, it's great. Good product placement would be to have shirts or marketing shirts where people subconsciously kind of see that, but you just go do your normal everyday stuff. You share your woes, you share your triumphs, and you'll yeah. I've only been on, I decided to do, mine's veteran related. I do some goofy stuff too, but mostly veteran related. I have more followers on TikTok than I do on Instagram, and I've only been on TikTok maybe 2 months. And I've got a video that I did on connecting with veterans that's already at 50,000 views, which for a 46-year-old person, that's pretty good compared to all the other whippersnappers, young kids on there. So I say that it's not about the number, it's about the content. But right now it's still young and it's in its infant stages. So you still can, if you really want to try to get it on the ground floor of a social media platform, this is it right now. And that's all I'll tell you, because this is an absolute, it's one that you can get a big bang for your buck. I'm still amazed. I'm still connecting with veterans. And they're like, well, what do we do now? What do we do now? I'm like, well, let's do it. So I'm trying to get younger veterans to go into the American Legion and work on Honor Guard because they don't have enough people to do Honor Guard. I'm on Honor Guard here. I've been for Carterville for 2.5 years. So I'm trying to encourage another generation. I'm using this platform to do that. And then I also use my account to test stuff too. Some stuff flops, some stuff goes really well. And again, it's just, it's a really cool platform. If you have grandkids or kids, take a look at it. Do a search on a hashtag farming or whatever your industry is, gardening, whatever it is, you'll see that there's a lot of content there. But this, I had to at least tell you this.
Does that disappear?
No.
Like Snapchat?
It's a timeline. It stays on a timeline.
Okay.
Yeah. These videos stay on there and forever, and they keep rocking in. Like I said, that one video, I was excited when it hit 10,000. It's still climbing, and I'm still getting veterans connected with me. So it's and you do get some demographics. Most of my audience is men, which is really for a platform like this is actually kind of cool. I would say 75% of my audience is men. So if I ever wanted to market or brand anything veteran related, that's what I would go to. I'm very strategic about the brand, the platforms I'm on, and what content I put on there. Mostly because I don't want to be the guy that builds an Instagram and then all of a sudden I start selling female purses or something. That's just not me. But there's people that do that. But I want to sell me and sell our services, and that's why I do that.
I think too, it seems like for this one, you kind of cannot be attached either because you're throwing your bread on the water here in some ways, and you don't own this anymore. So I think that's another caution for people, just to be aware of the fine print.
Yeah, so
this is out there.
Yeah, it's out there, and this is again, everybody freaks out that it's a Chinese-based company, but I'm going to tell you, this is what I said. You make your own decisions. You all grown adults. If you knew half of our programs and most of our stuff that's programmed and so it comes from China. It's outsourced. So if you're worried about that,
all the apps on your phone.
Yeah, almost all the apps, everything. So if you have to make those decisions on your safety. But like anything, if TikTok goes away, all that content's gone. Facebook goes away, all that's gone. So you lose all that. So the trade-off is, but this will probably end up getting bought out in the future. I'm pretty sure. But this is a pretty big platform, and it's growing fast. And not the teens, which means the teens are going to have to find another platform. So someone will come up with one, and this is the new one. But this one, I've never seen so much reach and engagement. Way better than Facebook and Instagram. It's crazy. It's going to be a good one. All right, and then I wanted to talk about, this kind of ties in with TikTok. Who would be a social media influencer for your business? So I wanted to find an influencer off here, and I want you to think about your platforms and who's an advocate for you. And it could be a family member, it could be someone that you don't know. So they have a lot of followers. They're not the 10 million ones. A lot of the ones that get up there really high, that have followings that follow you, that have those big numbers, are fake accounts. They're either fake accounts or the people following them are fake. So a good, especially for Southern Illinois, if you have anywhere from 5 to 10,000, they have 5 to 10,000 followers in our region, that's a good number, and I would consider them an influencer. They engage with you, and they engage with their audience. These are people that are not just looky-loos. They're not going to check out the coolest real estate house, open house, just to see what it looks like and dream someday of living there. These are actual people that they're connecting with and they're engaging with. And it goes with your brand. You want people that are good representations of your brand. I would not be a good social media influencer for probably some of your brands because I'm not as passionate. I don't use your product, which we know. I don't use any of your products, so why would I do that? I'm not following you. So, though I am following you now because we connected on Instagram, but those are people that they go with your brand and your culture and your beliefs. So many of you probably wouldn't. Well, I don't want to use that. That's an extreme example. I'm not going to do that. Trying to think of something that would be the complete opposite. You think of something that would be the complete opposite of someone that you would want following your business, based on their beliefs in something.
Monsanto.
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
Right?
you know.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You had my back. Appreciate that. So that's not someone that you want to have as an influencer. And then they have a targeted audience that you want to get into. Back to what you talked about, know your audience, that avatar. You think that way, that's your influencer. That's the person that you want to you want to become an advocate for you, your business. And those are the ones that you give a discount to, maybe a high discount, but you don't give these people free anything. You give them maybe 75% off. Because statistically, if you give influencers free stuff, there's no added value. You give them 75%, 80%, I don't care. They have to pay something to have skin in the game. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but that's what they do, and they get that in return, and then they promote your business. There are influencer contracts. We've worked with some. There's some online, and they're very clearly outlined saying, you're going to post on our behalf, promote our company with this product once a week for 30 days. Some influencers get paid really good money. Really good money.
It's basically a sponsorship.
Yep. I mean, in a nutshell, yes, that's the basic sponsorship. But I see so many people do this and they're doing it wrong because they're giving free and they're not getting any value in return. This influencer marketing is a mutual relationship. Both parties get something out of it. I know that's so crazy for people to understand anymore.
So I was listening to some podcasts this week about economics, and I was really getting depressed. So I decided I would counter that with the documentary about cats on the internet.
Okay.
Well, apparently this influencer thing is a big deal.
Yes.
And there's people who post cat videos, and that's their full-time job now, is to post cute cat videos. Because they're sponsored and they make an entire living in places like New York with cat videos. I don't understand it, but it's like a thing.
It's legit.
It's legit.
It's legit. I know. Hey, but how many times growing up did we hear that, my parents would say, hey, stop playing those video games.
You can't
make any money at that. And there's those...
Markiplier's like, cha-ching.
10-year-olds making more money than I am.
Well, we know someone who's like an avid hunter, and he had a YouTube channel. He just posts videos about hunting and stuff like that, and he ends up sponsored by a number of companies and might actually get his own syndicated show now. And
the thing is, you've got to put content out there with no expectation. That's the authenticity of it. Do not put any expectation. Stop this, I want to go viral. If I had $1 for every time someone asked me, hey Tom, can you help me go viral? I'm like, no. It is what it is. I can't tell you why one of my TikToks got 50,000 views and one got 100 or 32. It's not for me. I just put content out there. I have fun. I try to engage, I know my audience, and that's what I do. And that will happen. And it's not gonna happen the first video that you do. It's not gonna happen if you're a female, a tween, there's no rhyme or reason. But if you don't put content out there and represent yourself and your brand, you'll never know. And you will get those. I mean, I get stuff, nothing crazy, but I get stuff sent and I like it. It's nice, and I plug them, and it's something I believe in. I don't do it just to do it. We've kind of come this full circle where there used to be the product placement in the commercials and the TV shows. You'd see in the Pepsi or, you know, back in the day, the cigarettes would be in some of the soap operas. You know, we're coming full circle, except we just have a different platform. So who do you guys think you have someone in mind that could be family, very active, that meets these requirements? When you go back, anybody?
I might have one.
Yeah, do you know them?
Oh, yeah,
Do you interact?
yes.
Are they family?
No, they're a friend.
Okay, they're a friend though. Did they become a friend because of this?
No.
Okay. I've made tons of friends just through Instagram, a lot, and we connect and share information and Facebook stories. It is a great way to connect professionally. So what you need to do, if you do not know who your influencer is, this is what you do. When you go on your Facebook page, your business page, or your Instagram's probably, I would rather you spend more time Instagram because it's more of, you'll generate sales probably more off of Instagram than you will Facebook. But on Instagram, look at your followers or look at some of the people that have liked or commented on your posts. Stalk them, for lack of better words. Go ahead, just stalk them. Go back, click on them, go back and take a look and see what their following is. How many followers do they have? Are they engaging with that audience? Does it go with your brand? And do they have a targeted audience that you would want? And then also, I didn't put this in here, this is what's great too. Let's say you want to go into a different region. Let's say you want to move over to Cape Girardeau. Guess what? You could just do a search on hashtags in Cape Girardeau and start looking at the influencers that are over there, and you can start matching up with that. I do that a lot. If I want to go into a region or an area, I reach out to influencers in that market, see if it's a good fit, and then I reach out to them. We share content, or they'll share a post, or they'll engage. It is a low cost, easy way to get your brand into new markets and to get out there.
Should we look some up on the computers? I mean, we have the computers.
Yeah, well, we took this afternoon when we were going to do the audit.
Later, okay.
So I was going to do that during the audit, and we're going to
Awesome.
look at some of that stuff.
Great.
And then I'll go through this fairly quick. We found that there's 5 types of content when rotated specifically on Facebook that does really well. Text only, images, video, links back to your website, that helps with your SEO, and community and personal. Those are the 5 types of content that you need to think about when putting content out. Now, images and video should be the only ones that you either boost or do any type of paid campaigns for. If the link goes back to an order form, those are hard to do, but if you're trying to drive traffic back to something specific on your website, you can do the link back and boost that. Otherwise, you need to really use the images and video, and out of those 2, video will be your best option to do any boosted or paid campaign on. You're going to get the biggest return on your value. And then I think we've kind of talked this a little bit, but have you bought into video for your business? So, are there any takers? Anybody going to go back and start doing video? 1. I love you. You're the best. I want to see, I got to get your page because I want to make sure that I see your video and I watch it. Times for videos that are really good: 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, 15, and no more than 25. The 10 to 15 is optimal. It just requires you to have some really good content, and you've got to be really engaging. Otherwise, it makes it really hard for people to stay along with that. When you get into the 25 and above, it's more of a podcast, and that's where people can take chunks out and listen. And honestly, that would be, the 10 to 15 for starting out, 5 to 10 would be good. You'd be surprised how quick it goes. And be authentic. Just be you. Yes.
So I'm still just gonna go back to the photo things and if they go away or not, because I've only posted a couple things with our kid on Facebook and I already want to delete them. We don't want to put him on there. But yet, like, so many people liked this photo. It was just half of his face and our new puppy, and he's playing outside, and so many people liked it. And I don't know, but I just want to, it makes me want to delete everything that I've ever, I want him to make those decisions when he's older and not have all these things plastered, or even a few.
Nobody can make that decision but you two.
Yeah.
Okay? No one's going to judge you if you do. I stopped, my daughter's 13. I didn't have a choice. She was like, no. No. So, and but my daughter's part of who I am, which is indirectly part of my business. Now, was part of me, and I'm going to be honest, was part of it, I'm sure you were thinking this too, am I exploiting my daughter, my kid to get Facebook or views? At the core of it, yes, we are. Let's be honest, some of us are. But it's how you do it and how frequent you do it. That's where you have to, these are conversations that a lot of people don't want to have. But it's true. We're sometimes chasing those numbers. You know, I like to do, I have my suits, that's me, but I do some goofy stuff, but I make sure that my content represents who I am. And I'm more than just a suit. I'm a person that does honor guard, and I'm veteran-centered, and I'm community-minded. So if your content is leaning consistently one way, then you need to look at that. Now, if you told me you had these problems and every piece of content was, then I would say, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I guess, is there a platform that's good if you do want to put something up every now and then that it doesn't get saved?
Yeah, the stories. So Snapchat, which I really wouldn't recommend. It's more of a personal branding thing. I don't think you guys need to spend any time on that for your businesses. Instagram stories and Facebook stories go away. That might be a balance for you. Mm-hmm. But again, it's just, I will never tell someone. But yeah, cats and rainbows and unicorns and dogs and animals and kids. Yeah, they go well because why? A lot of times, especially mothers, other people connect with other mothers because of their kids. So when they see that, let's be honest, they're judging. Okay, the kid, I don't know what it looked like. Oh, it's a puppy, so they got her. Oh, it's cute. Oh, he looks well fed. Oh, he's cute. We're always judging. We always have that first initial. So they're like, oh, she must be a good mom, so she must be a great business owner. Oh, I'm going to work with her. I'm going to buy from her. That's how this works. Right?
Same thing's true of dogs. So
Yeah.
We know each other's dogs.
And the flip side, you know what I really like? That I will buy, and this is me, remember I'm not a perfect audience. There's a couple on TikTok where it's a grandson taking his grandpa who swears and is just a pain in the butt, but he's adorable. And this guy is adorable. He's a grandpa and a pain. There's one with a grandma. Same thing. Now, swearing's not for everybody. I get that, and that's okay. But I'm like, this is the cutest thing. This grandson or granddaughter, I think it's a grandson now, and this grandma are having this relationship, and you wouldn't expect it. And what comes out, and it's not horrible, but it's just funny. And I'm like, and those are the ones I connect with, and I go back to. And if they started selling something, I probably would buy. But everybody is different. But the audience that she talked about, that female audience, they're going to connect with other females based on that. Just be authentic. Try not to put this perfect scenario on social media, because that honestly backfires on everybody. Be real. You know, let them sometimes see you without makeup and crying and upset. You know, entrepreneurism is not Mark Zuckerberg. It's not it. He went through it too. We just didn't have him posting all the time. We never saw it. So be real. That's the thing. Again, I think that's a trade-off that you guys have. That's a conversation. And if you have that, I would tell you, my advice would be maybe once every 10 days and do a story and see how it goes. But no, it's up to you. If it's something that's a part of your culture and your business, yes. Just you have to know the intent, and only you two can answer that. Nobody else can. So, other questions?
Well, I even think about what she's saying, and sometimes if you could take a video that's a little bit further out of the your Russell and the puppy interacting, playing out in the field or something, they can't see your kid,
But they
that
know.
image is there,
Yes.
and that kind of relates some of that
At the end of the day, I know you'll make the decision that's right
Yeah.
for both of you.
Yeah.
You're having the discussion, so that's good. And it bothers you, so that kind of tells you already the answer there. So you'll be fine. There's other things that are in really cool content that you can get. So yeah. Anything else before we take a break? I think I went over a little bit, sorry.
Well, there's things about that people that are adorable that aren't necessarily your kid's face, like baby feet and, you know what I mean, and silhouettes are super cute. You know, there's just some things that are super cute that don't identify.
Just don't do the blur out thing, that looks so cheesy.
No, don't do that.
Don't do the blur out the kids.
Oh, you mean the face?
Yeah, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh.
Most wanted.
I've been known to steal my relatives' baby photos. I'm like, hey, I need a cute baby for this promo. Can I borrow your
And that's
kid's
okay,
picture?
yeah.
And they're like, sure.
And that's okay. All right.
All right, we'll do a break.
Thank you.